Hi everyone, it's Easter Saturday. I hope you're having a great Easter time with your loved ones. And so this week, I want to talk about the 5 languages of love. Now, the 5 languages of love, it's just a form of communication. And like any language, if 2 people are speaking a different language, then it's very hard to relate and understand. And the 5 languages of love, or the 5 love languages, was actually a book written by Dr. Gary Chapman back in 1992. And Dr. Chapman's a counsellor, and he recognised there was patterns with certain couples. And he found that the couples were misunderstanding one another and each other's needs. And so he wrote this book. And the whole purpose of the 5 languages of love is to understand how that person loves to be loved and how you love to be loved. And it's different for everyone. And the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. So let's talk about those 5 love languages. Words of affirmation is basically about expressing your affection verbally, whether it be praise, appreciation. And if your partner's love language is, or your love language is words of affirmation, then those people will enjoy kind words, encouragement, uplifting notes and quotes, love quotes. So I'll try again, uplifting quotes and love notes, get that right. And even, beautiful little text messages at any time. And you can really make a person's day when you turn around and point out to them and compliment them on what they're doing great or well. The next one, the second one, is quality time. And people who have this language of love, they love to have the other person's undivided attention, being present and focused with that person at the time, putting down your mobile phone, turning off the computer, turning off the TV, making eye contact and listening, and active listening. And it's not about offering advice. It's not about trying to fix anything. It's about just being there and letting the person know that you actually hear them. So that's the second one. The third one is physical touch. And it's not just about sex. It's about just that physical affection, about holding hands, touching their arms, giving them a massage, sitting on the couch and having a cuddle at night. This type of love language, they just want to be physically close with their partner. The fourth one is acts of service. And that's when a person feels loved when someone else does nice things for them, such as cooking a meal or cleaning up or putting the chooks away, filling up the car or washing the clothes or feeding the pets, whatever it is. Do those little things for them, and the other person feels like they're loved and appreciated. And you often find that the people who have this love language will be doing it for other people, doing those little acts of service for other people as well. And the final one is receiving gifts. And any sort of gift giving has always been very symbolic of love and affection. Jewelry has been a big one, roses, etc., etc. But for people who have this receiving gift love language, it's not always necessarily about the big, expensive, large gifts. It's about the thought of the gift, or thought behind the gift, and the time and effort that the person has put in to give the gift to them. And so when you pick out a gift specifically for that person, it lets them understand that you know them, you understand who they are. And it has a big impact on them as a person, because it's like, oh, they really understand me, they know who I am, and I really appreciate it. And it's not important just to know what their love language is. It's very important to know what your love language is as well, because that way people can understand. And when you start understanding the other person's love language, you can actually start working in that way. Because for example, my language of love is physical affection, physical touch. I love holding hands, touching, tickling, cuddling with my wife. And I'd love it if she was the same, but she's not. And so her language of love, it used to be receiving gifts, which for me was pretty natural and pretty easy. But it changed, yay, to words of affirmation. Sorry, I try again, acts of service. And so now for me to show Kim that I love her, I don't have to, but it's really important that for me to show her that I love her, I go off and make the bed or put the chooks away or cook dinner occasionally. And I should do it more often. And I should do all those things. But when I do those things and she sees it, she knows and she feels more loved and appreciated. And so that's why it's really important to understand what your love language is. So go through that list. Do you feel love when people tell you that you've done something well or that they love you? Or do you prefer a gift? Or do you prefer it when your partner's arranged a date night, for example, or someone's done those chores, made the bed, done the cooking, etc.? Or you just want to receive a what was the other one? Beautiful gift, whatever it is. Anyway, so go through and find out which is your love language. And often our partner's love language isn't the same as ours. So it's really important to understand what theirs is so you can actually focus on their love language so they appreciate and understand that you love them from the way they understand for it to be received. And it really does benefit relationships because it promotes selflessness, which basically means that you're focused on what they want to receive rather than what your own needs are. And this is the whole core idea behind Dr. Chapman's theory, is that if you're focusing on their needs and they're focusing on your needs, you're giving, but you're also receiving at the same time. It also creates empathy because what you're doing is you're learning about your partner and how they experience their love, and you empathize with that person. And it again, it allows you to step outside of yourself and take a look at that other person from their point of view. And it increases our emotional intelligence along the way, which then obviously will help with our relationship. And it creates, because we create this understanding, or we understand our partner more, it helps maintain our intimacy because we have those deeper connections, and they're not only deeper, but they're more meaningful. And like I mentioned earlier on, it also creates that growth, that personal growth, because you're empathizing with them. And rather than being all about me and what I want, it's about what them and they want. And it's really important because by doing that, it causes us to step outside our comfort zone, and that leads us to the growth. So I really encourage you to have a chat to your partner and see what their language of love is. You may already know it, but also be aware of what yours is, and have a conversation around that, because though this won't fix a relationship, if the relationship's got some cracks in it, what it will do was it'll help with the communication side of things, and that's the start of getting your relationship back on a good note, because it's about communication. If you can't communicate about love, then that's the foundation of what our relationship is about. It's about love, and it's about doing those one of those 5 things that works for you and your partner to bring that best relationship together. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a bit of insight. Let me know how you go during the week about your languages of love and what you've done. Go out there and find what it is, have a conversation, and then share and do those languages of love. One thing every day for your partner, and see what difference it makes by doing it. Until next week, peace, love, and healing. I hope you have a great Easter. I hope you have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.